Hello, everyone. I all hope you had a wonderful day and a very, very beautiful day and a very, very great day ahead. And I hope will enjoy your wonderful and blessed weekend. In this episode, we're here to talk about the darkest formation hunter, the darkest hunter who are powerful formation hunter, who are family of powerful formation hunter with great dark abilities. They've existed throughout the sacred world for centuries, and they've been part of the alliance for centuries and years within the 40th century, the darkest family of Formation Hunter joined the alliance formed by Laurel, who became the Laurel Magic, and Exec, who became the Laurel Magic and defected. He formed the very first of the alliance. In doing so, he recruited the Hellfire family, the Ferris, Unity, Starwood, Darkest, Darken, Growler. These four nation hunter families are powerful and extremely deadly. Some of them have dark abilities, others have dark energy ability. The darkest four nation hunter family is a family of powerful four nation hunters who exactly been part of the alliance for centuries. They have joined the alliance fighting forces of evil, taking down dark druids and super evil superhumans and evil supervillains and evil powerful arch nemesis and dark enemies who pose a threat to sacred peace and to the sacred world and to the natural order and to humanity. For many, many of those centuries, some of the darkest formation hunters defected from the alliance, following their own path and their own mission, believing that they're the quiet, that they're believing that they're the believing that their powers and their gifts made them feel like godly being, made them feel like that they are godly beings and more godlike beings and more powerful ancient beings than ever. They begin to testing their abilities over the course of the history by fighting monsters and protecting protecting the sacred world's secret from being exposed to humanity, and also serving humanity in their own way and exactly advancing their abilities and their techniques and their superpowers in their genetic DNA. Within the middle century, within the middle century, the darkest Four-Nation Hunter family of Four-Nation hunters was able to exactly intervene on the Dark King's latest plan into destroying planets and worlds. The Dark King used powerful dark druids and dark magic users known as the Seconds to help him build great machines that can destroy the worlds. The members of the Darkest Formation Hunter family were able to intercept the Dark King, were able to exactly fight him off, he and his operatives and his followers, able to exactly destroy his dark and powerful machine, which they exactly did by obliterating it and by wiping out the Dark King's plan. At the end of the process, they even destroyed the crystal with a dark energy and with a dark energy abilities by using a special dagger and a blade that can exactly destroy the dark crystal. They were able to fight off the dark druids and the dark witches and the dark faithful that the dark king exactly hired to become his operatives and his agent for his sinister plan for his sinister plan for the sacred world and for the sacred universe. In doing so, they were able to intercept the Dark King, but the Dark King was able to exactly teleport away and was able to exactly retreat. The Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, some of them were able to escape through teleportation, others were able to be destroyed within the vicinity of the blast. The machine was quietly, gravely destroyed within the blast vicinity and was quietly annihilated along with the power battery of its power known as the Dark Crystal was able to be destroyed by the Darkest Formation Hunter family, who was able to prevent worlds from being destroyed and worlds from being suffering. The Darkest Formation Hunter family descendants, the Darkest Formation Hunter family of the descendants were led by Dark Grey, who is known by to the sacred world as an unknown villain known as Dark Grey, who's a high-ranking member of a supervillain society of supervillains known as the Founders. Dark Grey became the father of all darknesses, of all the members within his family of the Darkest Formation Hunter, and was able to exactly lead them through greatness and through sheer force of will. In doing so, he guided them in using their abilities and their powers and their techniques and advancing their techniques and abilities, using them in order for him to further his own ambition and his own goal for the sacred world and for the sacred universe. Within that course of that time, some of the members of the Darkest family began defecting and leaving the Darkest family legacy. Some of them were able to leave. That is exactly the descendants who are quietly still actively alive. Zacchaeus Darkest, Zenith Darkest, Kevin, Kevin Darkest, and Amanda Darkest, Amanda Darkest, and also Neo Darkest. These descendants who quietly remain, who are still actively alive, are more powerful and are more deadly. And also the remaining father of the Darkest family is Dark Grey, who is still actively alive. When news of the Lolo Magic's demise fall to the Universal Heroes, Zacchaeus Darkest and Zenith Darkest and Amanda Darkness were able to convene at the central headquarters at their home base within an ancient temple to exactly speak about their plans and their operation in order to create a crystal trafficking syndicate. But Zacchaeus Darkness successfully agreed with his cousin, and exactly accepted her plan. So they created a powerful ring of a superhuman traffic ring that can able to transport superhumans and armies across planets to planets and worlds across worlds and civilization across galaxy to galaxy. The Star Universe needed an army of superhumans in order for them to prepare for their large full scale invasion upon other worlds and upon other civilization, which the Star Witch Queen and also the Star Prince exactly requested. Zenith Darkness and Ember and also Amanda Darkness were happily to oblige by giving them an army of superhumans and an army of powerful test subjects who exactly test positive for the superhuman gene, and they exactly provided them with more and less superhumans and an army for them to exactly use an army for conventional forces to take over other worlds and other civilization, which is what the Star Wars Queen and the Star Prince used their armies for, to exactly taking over other worlds and other civilization. Even Queen Ivy requested an army of superhumans to exactly aid her in her own conquest, to exactly launch a full-scale invasion of all the other sacred worlds across space and across the universe, which drew the attention of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders in order to exactly bid for them to taking over other worlds and other planets when they were quietly still distracted in fighting the Intergalactic Coalition and the Universal Space Heroes and the rest of the Universal team and the rest of the Universal Heroes covert team. Exactly. Zacchaeus Darkness was happily to oblige in requesting and handing over the request to his clients and to the highest bidder of the superhuman army, and was exactly happily to oblige. Amanda Darkness began recruiting powerful, skillful villains known as Blacksport, Touchman, Captain Ice, and Greenman, and Rockboy. He was able to exactly recruit these five villains to become part of her secret task force in order for her to tighten a grip over the remaining worlds and over the remaining nations of planet Earth and over the remaining worlds and over the remaining nations of planet Earth. In doing so, her secret task force was discovered by Rex, who is a high-ranking member of the Universal Heroes. They were able to exactly intercept her team, and they were able to exactly prevent her team from controlling other worlds and seizing mass control of dark destructive technology that the Shadow Empire was unable to exactly confiscate from the other worlds and from the other civilization. They were able to exactly dispatch some of the members back into the Astral Prison and to remotely to be sent there. But one supervillain was able to successfully to be released from the Astral Prison by Professor War, who's a high-ranking member of another secret society of supervillains known as the Founders. Blacksport was able to exactly escape his release and was able to exactly never seen again. Amanda Darkness reconvened with the relatives with Zacchaeus Darkest and Zenith Darkest and Zack Darkest and Dark Grey, and able to exactly inform them that our operations were quietly slowed down to a dead stop. The members of the Order of the Five were able to reconvene with the Darkest family of the Four Nation Hunter, and able to exactly inform them of the new threat of the new Lord of Magic and his new secret society that is about to exactly take over everything and about to ruin everything they planned and about to ruin everything they plans and their goals and their schemes that they exactly been planning in order to conquering the known universe and the rest of sacred existence by any means. As I said, Zacchaeus Darkest wasn't disturbed by the news of the new Lord of Magic. In fact, he decided it's time that he pledges his allegiance and his loyalty and his resources and his operatives and his agents to the new Lolo Magic's organization, and also his secret society, as well did Zack and his Darkest, as well did Zack and his Darkest handfully agreed. Dark Gray exactly disagreed with them and exactly returned back to his own secret society of supervillains known as the Founders to inform them of what his relatives and his descendants are planning to do in order to team up with the new Little Magic secret society and organization. The Dark King was quietly very frustrated. In fact, he decided to take matters to his own hands. He issued a warning across the rest of sacred existence and across the rest of the known universe to threatening all aliens and all Shadow Empire warlords that they cannot conquer the rest of the known universe and all the worlds and all the planets throughout the rest of sacred existence. Then if anyone else exactly conquers all those worlds, that will exactly face his worth and his wrath, and will be dealt with cruel retribution if anyone else touches the other worlds and the other planets that are under his sole custody. He brought a large fleet of battle cruisers passing through other worlds and other planets, demonstrating and showing off his power and his worth through all alien worlds and through all alien civilization, especially through the Shadow Empire and to the new Little Magic Secret Society and his forces, and also to other secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, to Lord Six and Lord Havik and the Haviken Corps and Winter King and Lord Justin, demonstrating his power and his worth to the rest of the known universe and to the rest of sacred existence by any means necessary. The Universal King and the rest of the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition forces began to see that this is a war and a struggle for power, seeing the forces of evil fighting each other and the Intergalactic Coalition trying to exactly liberate all the other worlds and all the other planets from the Shadow Empire's grip and control. They realize that they're facing a sinister threat and a sinister forces that are still highly actively rising, especially with the Universal Prince and his secret society known as the Order of the 12 that still poses a threat to humanity and to the rest of the sacred world. Despite this, Zack and his Darkest was able to confront the members of the Universal Heroes and was able to exactly fight off with them when he was trying to engineer his lost plan and his lost sinister plan in order to create a device that could destroy planets and other worlds. But his plans were quietly thwarted due to the intervention of the Universal Heroes, who was successfully able to exactly destroy his machine and is exactly able to they failed to exactly take him into custody, which was able to exactly teleport and also successfully able to escape. Despite this, the Darkest family are a powerful family of Four-Nation hunters with the ability of teleportation, the ability of using energy blades, the ability of opening dark portals, the ability of using daggers and swordsmanship, with the ability of hand-to-hand combat, with the ability of superhuman strength, super speed, immortality. They're extremely powerful and they're extremely dangerous and deadly. They're intelligent and they are very, very clever and very, very smart, forming alliances with other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, offering them more central, offering bases for them to exactly operate for their operations, for them to exactly meet and discuss it, offering them operations or bases for them to exactly meet and discuss their plans and their sinister plans. In return, the Shadow Empire warlords would exactly provide them with endless destructive technology. In return, Zack and his Darkest would exactly provide the Shadow Empire warlords with new central headquarters for them to exactly operate and exactly meet and discuss their plans. Zack and his Darkest has even become an operative and an agent of the new Little Magic Secret Society of Supervillains, aiding him in his mission of destruction and also reconquering other worlds and other civilizations, and also in his unknown quest, which is still a mystery. The other descendants of the Darkest family, known as Amanda Darkest and Kevin Darkness, who is a member of the Universal Defenders, which I previously told you about, is exactly joined forces with the other heroes. Using his abilities and his skills for the greater good, not for the greater evil. Amanda Darkness, who has become a leader of her group of supervillains known as the Dark Blade, known as the Order of the Ten, exactly able to exactly lead it to greatness in order to exactly for them to exactly seize control of mass technologies and mass advanced alien technologies, in order for them to use these technologies for her own ambition and for her own goals. The other descendant, known as Zenith Darkest, is a deadly supervillain and a very powerful supervillain with the power of opening dark portals and with the power of super speed, super strength, and with the power of conjuring shadow magic and shadow energy, able to exactly use the power of summoning and able to exactly unsummon forces on beings, and able to use the power of shadow magic and conjuring shadow energy and conjuring shadow swords, skillful in hand-to-hand combat, and is a master tactician, forming alliances with other supervillains known as Ghostmaster, Golden Knight, Energy Blade, Witch Girl, Witch Boy, Dark Witch Boy, Dark Witch Boy, Red Boy, and the Dark King and the Dark King, forming alliances with other supervillains and the other secret society of supervillains known as the Sacred Circle, the Founders, the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, and the Order of the Seven, and Lord Justin and Lord Havik and Winter King, forming alliances with other supervillains in order to exactly further their own goals and their interests across the world and across humanity, across the rest of Sacred World, and across the rest of Sacred Universe and to the known universe, in order for him to further his own goal and his own ambition by joining forces with another dark organization of assassins known as the Order of Darkness that wants to restore power and its ability to humanity and to the rest of Sacred World and to the rest of Sacred World and to the rest of sacred existence. And despite this, the father of all darkest is known as Dark Grey, who is an unknown supervillain and a high-ranking member of a secret society of supervillains known as a Founder. Dark Grey is the father of all darkest. In all the centuries, he has led the darkest family Formation Hunter through greatness and through sheer force of will. He began using his family as an army to exactly take over vast worlds and vast planets and vast countries and vast civilizations throughout the known universe, wreaking a lot of amount of havoc and carnage throughout the rest of sacred existence. But the Formation Hunters were able to prevent Dark Grey's operation and also his goals and his ambition from taking over worlds and civilization, forcing thousands of alien citizens and refugees to flee and to come to the Intergalactic Coalition's headquarters. Dark Grey has caused chaos and destruction upon his worth and upon his power, and abusing his power and he's abusing his status quo. The descendants of the Darkest family are powerful and formidable and are great in hand-to-hand combat and in swordsmanship and in adaptability and agility and endurance. They are very great. They are not meant to be underestimated. They're a family of superhero, and supervillain. They are of the two exactly. One descendant is a superhero known as Kevin Darkest. He is the greatest of them all. He exactly decided to use his gift for the greater good, not for the greater evil, and not for the greater destruction of his power, whether to save humanity and the rest of Sacred World and the rest of sacred existence by fighting against the Shadow Empire warlords and stopping the Shadow Empire's quest and conquest from conquering the known universe and the rest of Sacred Universe and the rest of the other universes known as the Mixel Universe, the Star Universe, the Golden Universe, Sacred Universe, Robotic Universe, and all the other universes by any means necessary. The descendants of the Darkest family are strong, powerful, immortal, very deadly, and very powerful, intelligent, fully with raw intellect. That is just exactly universe barking, by the way. So don't exactly worry. That is just exactly universe barking. Anyway, as I was saying, they are fully clever with raw intellect and with the ability of using their abilities in order to exactly plot schemes and manipulate events that the Universal Heroes are trying to restore peace and balance with the Intergalactic Coalition and with the United Heroes, trying to bring down their enemies at any given cost. The darkest family of Formation Hunter are bad. Some of them are quietly good. The rest of the unknown descendants who are still the survivors are still nowhere to be found, but they're still out there actively alive. But the ones that I mentioned are still actively alive and are still actively alive and are quietly trying to manipulate the wars and events of the sacred world's wars and controlling them and manipulating them to their own advantages and also to further their own ambition and their own goal. Despite this, the Darkest family Formation Hunter is not meant to be underestimated by any means necessary. Well, I all hope you enjoyed this video, and I all hope you have a wonderful day and a very great day. I will see you tomorrow on our last day of shooting the next episode. Take care of yourself and be safe and stay happy. That is just universe barking as usual. You know exactly. Bye. Bye.